Ever wonder how those massive multi-million dollar international business deals actually get put together? Well, they're not just magic. They're built piece by piece with a ton of planning and some really high stakes strategy. Today, we're going to tear one apart and see how it works. We're dissecting the blueprint for a huge cross-border partnership to buy a coal mine in Indonesia. Let's get into it. So that's the big question, right? How do you build a $20 million deal in a foreign country from basically nothing? We got our hands on the actual Memorandum of Understanding. That's the foundational document that lays out the whole game plan. We're going to walk through it step by step and see exactly how these two companies plan to make this happen. All right, so first things first, every great partnership starts with the right players. And this deal, it's a textbook case of bringing together big money from one country with critical, on-the-ground knowledge from another. So let's meet the two companies at the heart of this thing. Okay, so on one side of the table, you've got Nilkanth Inframining. They're an Indian company, and their goal is simple. They need to lock down a steady, long-term supply of coal. On the other side, you have PT Dua Bintang Kriasindo, or DBK. They're the local Indonesian experts with all the contacts and know-how in the coal-rich regions. It's a perfect match, really. One brings the cash, the other brings the connections. So, we have our partners. But what exactly are they after? This isn't just a casual shopping trip for any old mine. Oh, no. They have a very, very specific prize in mind. And here's their shopping list. Just look at how specific this is. They need a mine that is already up and running, an operational mine, not just some piece of land they hope has coal. It needs to be in a specific region, Kalimantan, and the coal quality has to hit a very precise energy value. The budget is huge, up to $20 million. But the most important detail on this whole list, the one that could make or break the entire deal, is that permit status. And this right here is where that local partner earns their keep. In Indonesia, getting a mining permit, an IUP, is just the first step. The real game changer is the CNC status. It stands for Clear and Clean, and it's basically a government stamp saying this mine is free of any legal problems or ownership fights. For an investor, missing this detail is like buying a house without checking the title. It could turn a dream asset into an absolute legal nightmare. So, you've got $20 million you want to invest in a foreign country. How do you do it? Safely. Well, you definitely don't just wire the money and hope for the best. You build a roadmap, a step-by-step plan designed to lower your risk and build trust along the way. Let's see how they did it. This three-phase strategy is just brilliant. It's a perfect example of how to de-risk a massive investment. Phase 1 is like a test drive. They'll start a small, separate business exporting coal together, just to see if they can work well as partners. If that goes smoothly, then they move to Phase 2, the main event, buying the mine. And Phase 3, that's about making sure the local partner, DBK, gets a long-term piece of the pie for making it all happen. It's a classic crawl, walk, run approach. And that crawl phase, it begins with this very specific number, $500,000. So instead of going all in with $20 million, Nilkanth starts with a much more manageable $500,000 investment. This isn't for the mine itself. This is just the seed money to get that first phase coal exporting business off the ground. It's a smart, calculated first move that gets the ball rolling while keeping the initial risk super low. Now get this. This is probably my favorite detail in the whole deal. To secure that first $500,000 investment, the Indonesian partner isn't just giving a handshake and a promise. Nope, they're putting up a real physical asset as collateral, a 3-story mini hotel in South Jakarta. I mean, how about that? It gives the investor real, tangible security right from day one. Okay, so let's say the test drive phase goes perfectly. Now they're ready to buy the mine. The investor, Nilkanth, has a huge strategic decision to make. And this choice will shape everything, how much control they have and just how much money they have to spend. Because once they hit Phase 2, the numbers get serious. We're jumping from that initial $500,000 all the way up to potentially $20 million for the mine itself. This is the whole enchilada. But how they actually spend that money, well, that's where the strategy comes in. They've laid out two different paths. Option A is to buy a 51% majority stake. This is smart because it gives them operational control over the mine, but they don't have to pay for the whole thing. Option B is to go all in, buy 100% of the mine. That means a much bigger check up front, but it also means they own everything and get to keep all of the future profits. It's that classic business trade-off, right? Cost versus control. But before a single dollar of that 17 or 20 million is spent, they enter the most important stage of all, due diligence.
This is basically the deep dive investigation. They'll bring in teams of experts to check everything. Is the coal really there? Are the permits legit? Are the finances clean? Can you even get the coal from the mine to a ship? Nothing gets bought until all these boxes are checked.
Okay, last part. A plan like this is pretty useless without two key things: legal protections to make sure everyone plays fair, and a clear timeline to make sure things actually get done. This document covers both. Now, this is really important to understand. Even though it's called a Memorandum of Understanding, which sounds kind of casual, certain parts of this agreement have real legal teeth. Things like confidentiality and non-circumvention, which means they can't go behind each other's backs, are totally binding. And that mini hotel they put up as collateral, that becomes a legally enforceable guarantee as soon as that first investment is made. And they are not wasting a single second. I mean, look at this schedule. It is incredibly fast. The local partner has to deliver potential mines by April 25th. The review is done just 5 days later. And by early May, the team from India is on a plane to Indonesia to start inspecting mines in person. This deal is moving at full throttle. This one quote from the document itself just sums up the whole thing so perfectly. It's a flexible plan, a non-binding roadmap, but it's built on a foundation of legally binding trust. It gives them the freedom to walk away if they find any red flags, but it also protects them while they're exploring the opportunity together. It's the best of both worlds. So the blueprint is signed, the partners seem right, the strategy is smart, and the protections are in place. But, the biggest challenge is still ahead: actually doing it. Turning this really clever plan into a successful, profitable $20 million mining operation on the ground in Indonesia. The real work, it starts right now.